And the nice thing about, you know, the technology today is, even for the general public, obviously streaming audio now. I mean, I remember WayFM was really, really early on audio streaming in 1995, and it sounded horrible. We were all thrilled with it, but you listen on your computer, you know, 2-inch speakers, and it was, you know, you're trying to hear the music in the background. Well, now, even for people in Portland and Vancouver who can't maybe get WayFM in their office or in their home, if they live, you know, a little further out, it can stream us online. Just, you know, by going to wayfm.com, you can have a very, very high quality stream. And of course, people do that on their iPhones now, Android. We have 2 mobile applications, soon to unveil several more, but on the iPhone and the Droid, there's a custom WayFM app. So all they got to do is search in the App Store for WayFM and then select it, and then there's the option of selecting the Portland station to listen to, you know, while you're out jogging or whatever on your iPhone.
Which is great. So if they're indoors, or what if they have a better connection, then they can actually listen to it online. Wayfm.com will get you there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're enjoying this. You plan to stay in this You're doing what you love to do.
Yeah, I do love this. And if my wife had her way, she'd move out here to Portland and say, why don't you run the station? But we have in Colorado Springs, where our home office is, you know, we have 20 or 23 very happy people. And so, as much as I love the Northwest, I think we'll have to keep our home office in Colorado Springs. But we're excited about the opportunities to grow and partner with other ministries and organizations here in town and really make a difference. So.
Great. And if people would like to see WayFM continue to prosper, continue to grow into other areas and to expand with people understanding, people knowing about the station wherever they are, then pray. Pray the Lord will help the word to spread, help people get behind it, and the doors would open up. He works through people, people that are desiring to serve Him, to love Him, and the community participates in that way. That's a very good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bob, you've done a really good thing. I'm glad you listened to that heart back then, and you developed that, learned as you go, and it's been 20-some years now, right?
Yeah, 23 years.
And counting.
Hard to believe. I mean, we honestly, I mean, again, the story I shared earlier, where we only had 2 weeks of reserves to run that station. I mean, I never, ever dreamed about even the remotest possibility that there would ever be, you know, the footprint around the United States that there is now with WayFM stations. And there's certainly a lot of other cities where, you know, we'd love to be someday, but you know, you just have to take it a step at a time.
Yep.
Because we are donor supported and listener supported, I mean, we just, you know, we're not publicly traded or anything, so we can't just go out and, you know, buy radio stations just on a whim. So, but God has chosen to open doors and places. Denver, Colorado is right now probably, you know, Denver and Portland are very similar in size, so those would be the 2 largest cities where WayFM is located. And Nashville, and then West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that would be an area. In fact, in Fort Lauderdale, you know, the Louis Palau organization is here in Portland. And they have these large festivals that they occasionally do, geared toward young people. And the very first one that they did was sponsored by our station in Fort Lauderdale. It was called Beach Fest, and they set up huge stage along the beach in Fort Lauderdale during a spring break week. And there were pictures I still remember seeing. 350,000 attendees along the beach heard the Louis Palau preach, but before that, it was a day of music that was really geared toward the whole college.
That's a huge event.
Really a huge event. I think that was in 2000 or 2001, but that was a big event that we got involved with at our station in Florida. So
that's great. So if there are individuals that own businesses that basically the Lord has placed resources into their hands. So if they have a passion for an area, they want to be able to have a station be located somewhere else, they can contact you and say, I would like to get behind that. Let me help to sponsor a station. And they can make a significant impact in the community.
Sure can, yeah, absolutely. And you know, here in the area, I mean, the really huge help for us right now would be if you like what you hear. Maybe you've already heard the station on 104.5, but if you're a part of a small or large church, it doesn't matter, and you've got the ability to be able to maybe have just a little bulletin announcement made that, you know, that the church would be willing to put in the bulletin on news stations on 104.5, Way FM, check it out. Or standing up in front of a Sunday school class and saying to the group of high schoolers, hey, check out this new station. That's a huge, huge help to us at this point.
Or to post it on their Facebook or whatever social.
Tweet their friends and just,
yep.
you know, you think about how.
Spread the word.
Facebook alone, I mean, if everybody, you know, listening now posted that, just one little post on their wall that, you know, Way FM is on in Portland. And we've actually been seeing friends do that already. And that's a beautiful viral way to get the word out without us having to do the impossible. And that's buy these big billboards on the interstate. And
sure, it's the new way to spread the word.
Yep, it is.
And I listen to Way FM quite often. It's I enjoy it. It's an interesting mix, a great message, and I love the authenticity. It has Way FM has a great track record. You're doing things right, Bob.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It wouldn't be possible, honestly, without, you know, the businesses and the listeners who do stand with us. You know, we're just getting started here. I mean, we won't be asking for donations for several months, but if people want to donate, they certainly can. But, you know, we're you know, I think God planted us here for a long term, and I don't see us going anywhere.
To me, it's encouraging because it's just one more way that the Lord says He cares about this community. He wants to bless this community, and what a blessing. So we're very thankful to Him to, in tangible ways, reach in and bless us. So we're very, very grateful for that.
And when you really think about this, I mean, maybe, most people don't think about this, but I do often because I'm in this industry of radio broadcasting. But the freedom we have in the United States to play music about faith, music about God, and for our announcers to be able to share what Jesus Christ has done in their life, that is so precious. It is rare where that is allowed. I mean, even in our neighboring country of Canada, up until 10 years ago, you couldn't find a Christian radio station in Canada.
Really? I didn't realize
that. Yeah, now it's slowly changing. In fact, there's a gentleman who used to work for us in Nashville who was Canadian born and went back to his country. And now he's got 5 stations similar to Way FM in parts of Canada. But there are scores of countries around the world where this is either not allowed by the government or it's almost impossible to birth something like this. I'm on the advisory board of a group who's trying to bring a Christian pop station to Paris, France. And they just have been under so many roadblocks, you know, government roadblocks, and they've been working on it for 4 or 5 years, and they still are not even close to getting a station. So, I mean, it's the freedom we have in this country is just astounding, really.
Very good to hear. And you're using that freedom well.
Thank you.
Well, we have also the station manager here, and so we're going to trade roles here for a minute. We're going to have Mike step in, and so we'll wrap it up for this part of the program. And next part here, we'll have our station manager, Mike, jump in. So that's it for Clark County Today for this little segment. Stay tuned for our station manager.